Good morning. Welcome to the Better Business Workshop. Today we're looking at the law of attraction. You know, isn't it interesting? Kind of you are what you think, right? And today I'm joined by my colleague Gareth Hughes to
Uh,
discuss the law of attraction and how it applies in business. Good morning, Gareth. How are you?
I'm good. Mark, how are you?
Yes, I'm brilliant. I'm brilliant. Good to see you in high definition today.
No problem. Some viewers might not say
So we're going to be looking at this law of attraction, Gareth. Do you want to say a few words to intro, or should we go straight to the slides?
Yeah, go straight to the slides, I think, and then I'll chat through it. But and you know, a lot of the people approach this with a certain amount of skepticism, and I think rightly so as well. You know, but there is, you know, some people call this luck or good fortune or right place, right time. Okay,
Yeah.
and it all kind of boils down to the same thing. And one thing I want to say right off the bat is it's not about, you know, you cannot just think of something and it appears. That cannot
Right.
happen. Okay,
Yeah.
it's about thinking about something, getting really clear on the goal, getting really clear on the intention, and then taking action. And
Mm,
that's the part that most people miss out, is the taking action.
mm.
Oh, I'll just leave it up to the universe, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work like that. Okay,
It's funny.
and
Sports, sports,
you know,
I was going to say, sports people know this a lot, right? They're really good at visualizing stuff and kind of setting their mind and their intention to stuff. And I think, you know, they pay psychologists to help them with this all the time. And Tiger Woods, I think he got it from Jack Nicklaus originally, said, you know, funny picking up on your point about luck, you know, the harder I practice, the luckier I get, right? Or the more I set my intention to win, the better and more successful he became.
yeah, totally. And don't get me wrong, there is a certain element of, you know, seeing your goals, visualizing it, um, getting emotionally attached, you know, not just seeing it,
Mm.
but, you know, smelling it, tasting it, whatever it is, okay? But
Yeah.
getting really, really clear, crystal clear on what that is,
Mm.
and then moving action towards, you know, all that the law of attraction does is it puts you into action in order to move towards your goal, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned sport. There's a great story. I think this happened in the late 80s where there was a baseball World Series game, and I think it was Chicago this player was from, and he was interviewed days before the final game, and the journalist said, "Oh, what would be the worst case scenario for you?" And he said, "Well, the worst case scenario for me would be letting the game winning run go through my legs, right?" And sure enough, a few days later, what happened? Right, ground ball gets hit to him. The ball goes through his legs. The other team win the World Series. Right from that.
Extraordinary.
Okay, and like, there's several things to pull out of that. Like, you know, did he intend for that to happen? Absolutely
Mm.
not. You know, was there some universal being that said, well, you thought it, so you get it, right? I don't think
Mm.
that's the case either. But I think what happened was it planted the seed in his
Yeah.
mind, right? And all of a sudden he couldn't stop thinking about that. And I think there's a lot of evidence to say that that's true. Um, so, you know, I always say, you know, be careful. Your thoughts become your words, become your actions, right? So,
Right.
you know, be careful about your thoughts. Guard your thoughts really well.
Yeah.
And I think that's there's a lot to be said for that.
So what we're really looking at here is, first of all, kind of setting a clear intention as far as businesses are concerned in terms of what we want to
Yeah,
what we want to achieve, right? You know, what we call them BHAGs, right? Big, hairy, audacious goals. We talk about stretching
yeah,
forward here, but just kind of getting crystal clear in terms of what are we actually working towards here.
yeah, totally. And you know, this is what we talk about, is setting your sat nav, right? Before you go on a journey, you set your sat nav first, and this is
Totally.
all you're doing, is you're setting your sat nav.
Yeah.
And I think that's hugely important. You know, you got to know where you're going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how can you make a decision? How can you make any decision in your business if
Yeah.
you don't know what the ultimate goal is? If you don't know what the ultimate aim is, I don't think you can.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of business owners miss this out. They miss out this really important. Oh, I want X amount of turnover, right? That's what
Mm.
they say. Okay,
Mm.
that's not clear enough.
Yeah.
Like, what does the business look like at that turnover? What's the
Yeah.
organizational structure? Who do you have working in the business? What does your sales team look like? Right? You got to get that granular. I mean, when I first started out as a coach, one of the first business owners I coached, he said, well, I want a helicopter. Right? Okay. I can get on board with that, right? So like, what color is the helicopter? What's the registration of the helicopter? What kind of helicopter? Who's flying it? Are you flying it or somebody else flying it, right? And he goes, well, I don't even know, right? Well, that's the level you need to get to in order to take action, in order to make things happen.
Totally. It's about visualizing what you're going to do and what it's going to be all about, right? And then actually physically taking actions to go and achieve them, because, you know, a goal without any actions is just a dream, right? So we got to get kind of down to some kind of concrete actions to kind of consciously and deliberately work towards achieving that goal, right?
Yeah, totally. And you know, when Disney World was being built, it was a huge operation, and I think it was around in the 50s when it first got built. And Walt Disney obviously planned it, but he was too sick. He was too ill to attend the opening ceremony. And so his brother was running the show, basically. And the journalist said to him, hey, you know, aren't you disappointed that your brother can't see this? Right? And he said, actually, the reason why you can see it today is because he saw it first.
I love that.
And that was the level of detail that Walt Disney went into. In fact, he died a few years later, you know, 2 or 3 years later. But that was the level of detail that Walt Disney went to when he was visualizing, when he was thinking up Disney World.
Yeah, he could visualize it. He was clear in his mind. He knew what it was all about, where he was going. And, you know, folks, you need to do the same for that, your businesses, right? You need to be crystal clear in terms of what you want, why you're doing it, and what you want to achieve, and what's it going to look like when it's finished. And, you know, lo and behold, if you then take decisive action, guess what? You know, those kinds of things start to come towards you. And that's the law of attraction, right? So,
yeah, absolutely.
Gareth, it's been brilliant to see you today. Thank you so much for jumping on. Folks can come and join us. If you want some more content like this, come and join us over in the Better Business Workshop. You can book a strategy review. Go to the website. You can book a 30-minute slot there with Gareth and I. It's entirely complimentary. Just go to the website at miltonkeynes.actioncoach.co.uk and you can book a 30-minute slot there. And there's a ton more content, as I said, over on the Facebook and the LinkedIn groups. So I'll put the link to those below this post as soon as we've finished. In the meantime, Gareth, we're going to be back on Wednesday and we'll set our intention towards that, right? It's been fantastic to see you. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much, Gareth. I'll see you back here on Wednesday.
Cheers, Mark.